Hey guys, it's Ken Maxfield, the Hide Guy. I'm the owner and the president of the Maxfield Report, and here is your recap for the week ending March the 15th. We attended the APLF fair last week in Hong Kong, and bases our observations and talking to many other people in the trade, it certainly appeared as if there were not nearly as many exhibitors as last year, as there was a lot of open space on the outside of floor one. The stands, as usual, were a good distance apart. You could easily walk four guys across all of the various hallways. As far as attendance, most people agreed that attendance appeared to be down from last year. The mornings were very slow all 3 days. It did get busier on lunchtime on days 1 and 2 and stayed busy up until the close. But again, the consensus of those who attended last year who were present this year is that there just wasn't as many people there. As far as observations, as much as people tried, it was difficult to find a lot of optimism there. A lot of people appear as if they're a little disappointed, and that being the sellers who were there appeared disappointed. They were looking to try to get some hides sold. It appeared that there were just simply too many people there from all places across the globe looking to sell, able to ship whenever the buyers needed. Buyers unwilling to, gamble or take any widespread speculation on anything. Of course, if you wanted to take less money, you could certainly sell at a couple of dollars down. A lot of the sellers did not want to partake in that. There, of course, is all kinds of finger pointing going on that had already taken place the end of the week prior. And during the week, quietly behind the scenes, for example, Texas steers at 36 delivered, branded steers at 33 delivered, butt brands at 46 delivered. Again, those are rumors. We don't have confirmations of those being done, but we tend to subscribe to the theory when there is smoke, there likely is some fire behind it. So I believe that those, trading at steady levels, very limited if it was done at all. And again, just overall, it was hard to find anybody who was at the fair that was excited about their sales, buyers laying claims to buying a lot of hides, and overall, I think just a really disappointing week for everybody selling hides, including on the cowhide side. As far as leather business, there was a lot of chatter about, the market share that synthetics is taking from the leather trade. A lot of conversations about, leather going on the offensive, which I think we need to do. A lot of our conversations focused on, we have all these different groups who are trying to promote hides, such as Leather Naturally, a great group, Leather Working Group, a great idea in the context, a great group. The United States Hide, Skin, and Leather Association, they do a lot of good for the states. You have El Shalta on the international basis. You have Cotans, just to name a few. And, end of the day, all these folks are trying to go towards making leather better and promoting leather, but perhaps maybe we need to have a conversation as an industry to see if we can't consolidate a number of these groups and have a concerted effort and perhaps maybe target those synthetics which are calling themselves leather and to go after them and to make them remove the term leather out of their wording. That, in my opinion, and the opinion of many other people at that show, is what's going to need to take place for us to maintain our market share and our presence in the industry. So some food for thought. Sorry to get on a soapbox there, but that was a lot of my conversations this past week. As far as the harvest last week in the States, it came in at 593,000. That compares to 603 the week before and 601 last year. For the record, we were on pace to be somewhere around 610, 612. But we had the winter storm that brought a bunch of snow to a lot of the northern plain. South of that, it brought tons of rain. Here where I live, for example, there's 5 dams on the Missouri River, and the last dam that's about an hour away from our home usually dumps 19,000 cubic feet of water per second, is now dumping 99,000 cubic feet of water out, and there's all kinds of serious flooding around the area. So Although from a perspective of just a Packer standpoint profitability, this week we should probably see 610, 615. I think we're going to have lots of issues with people being able to get to work, cattle being able to get to plants. So wouldn't surprise me if we saw a muted harvest level here for the next, say, week to 10 days until this situation amends itself. But there's unfortunately just too much snow melt going on with all this heavy rain last week that there is some very serious flooding from all the way up into South Dakota, all the way down into Missouri along that Missouri River. So for the year, we are behind last year by about 70, almost maybe 80,000 head. That's 3%. But also keep in mind, as I've been telling you, there was one more day last year on the harvest than this year. We will, for the year, end up 1 to 1.5% higher. Take that to the bank. There's a lot of cattle standing there. Packers are set up to make a lot of money. And when there's lots of cattle and Packers can make money, they will run volume. As far as the export report, was very disappointing, especially the number of people traveling. Of course, you're going to get the argument, well, because of everybody traveling, maybe sales didn't get reported, and they'll be reported on this week because they're a little bit late. Okay, you know, it is what it is, but whole cattle hide sales at 286,000. That is not enough. Wet blue sales at 129. Add those two together, you're not even you're barely over 400,000. 593, as I told you, 603 on the knock last week. So again, we have a situation where we're now getting close to 1 million more hides produced than sold. Of course, another conversation at this fair last week was, is the numbers being reported accurate? Because there's a lot of people who are pointing fingers and making, or I should say speculation, that there are people not maliciously reporting incorrectly, but they don't believe these numbers are right. We're going to take them at face value for now until we know anything differently. But at face value, just for a point of reference, we are nearly 1 million behind this harvest right now. Going around the world real quick, talking to our friends in Europe at the show, bulls remain in trouble. I know a major buyer of bull hides had a number of suppliers come into his booth looking to conclude new business. He was effectively telling sellers he wanted anywhere from 5 to 10 euro cents lower than his last trade. Some guys were a little disturbed by that, but others, I think, based on what he told me, went in and concluded some business with them at those lower levels. Cows seem to be in decent shape. They're able to hold their value. Getting more money is not possible. And lighter weights, although they are steady right now, keep an eye on lighter weights, especially in the United States as well, because as we approach Easter, the number of heifers in the mix does increase. And although you may not have light weights today, in 2 weeks, you will start see them coming. It is a fact that you can take to the bank and put it in your, on the back burner, that at Easter, the Easter bunny brings Easter eggs and heifers. Write it down, check it out next year, see if it follows. Brazil, a lot of rumors about suppliers begging for business, accusations of trading below 50 cents. I'm hearing 47 cents, as low as 47 cents, I should say, on TR number ones, up to about 52 cents. So that is definitely lower. Comments that TR 4s and 5s are trading at levels below the cost of what it is to tan the hides. So still a lot of problems in Brazil. Still a lot of hides for sale there. Our friends in Australia are singing a similar tune to the rest of the world. They're able to get some of their better quality hides sold. Some of their lower qualities, they're struggling to get them out the door. Call price is steady. Some are probably trading lower. Those trading levels just haven't come to surface as of yet. So as far as this coming week, we think it's inevitable that you're going to have to, if you're a seller, you're going to have to take less money in order to get hides moved. The mentality of holding this market steady, the forward position of producers has been eroding. I think they're getting to the point that they're starting to get in trouble and they're going to have to start making some panic sales. So it wouldn't surprise me if we see some lower prices this coming week. We think that offer lists will be probably heavily populated. So Keep in mind, we've been of the opinion for the last several months now, your first sale is your best sale. Keep selling into this market in our humble opinion. So that's it for this week. Ken Maxfield, the Hide Guy. Check out my website, www.themaxfieldreport.com. I offer free trials on my website with no obligation. Hope to see you next week.